Please be seated.
Hello, Judge.
Hello.
This is Graves, Carroll versus Baker.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good day,
Ms. Graves, you state your marriage is on the rocks and on the brink of divorce.
Yes, ma'am.
You're suing your husband, Mr. Baker, for a paternity test to prove that he's your 19-year-old daughter, Vanisha's biological father. You claim you're hoping this DNA test will fix your family. Mr. Baker, you claim you're not the father because your wife admitted that not one, but two other men could possibly be Vanisha's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Graves, so how is your marriage in turmoil exactly?
I've been dealing with him for 22 years now. When we got together this last time, I feel like he kind of punishing me and my daughter. You know,
Punishing you how?
Like the way he treats us. You know, I mean, he's not the man that he should be for the family.
What is he punishing you for?
We had a DNA for my first daughter. It was 22 years ago, and he took care of her for a whole year. And I was always honest. I always told him there was a possibility for her as well. Oh, well, you know, I was loose back then, you know, it is what it is.
So you feel like that's our problem?
Oh, wait a minute. To take me back to the story, you're saying 22 years ago you had a daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And for a year he thought it was his biological daughter.
Yes.
But you were honest that it may or may not be. Ultimately, you had a DNA test and it was determined that, in fact, he was not the biological father of your older daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the reason why you believe he has doubt concerning your daughter, Vanisha.
Correct.
And part of the reason why you believe he's trying to punish you both?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was hurt from the first results, you know.
So
but
you mean tough love is like punishing you?
You don't just come off showing tough love to a child
But if that's
that
all
you really
I know,
don't know anything
that's all
about.
I know, Ms. Graves. I never had a father. I really don't know how to love, you understand? So,
Well,
I mean, if that's what
that's
I
not my
know, I mean,
fault.
I understand that, and that's your problem. You're not trying to understand your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault.
Well, I'd like to understand it a little more. Explain, how does he treat your daughter? Why are you saying, what is this tough love you're talking?
He's saying tough love, but he cusses her. I mean, he's rude.
Mr. Baker, why are you cursing a 19-year-old girl? What is this behavior?
I mean, verbal words come out due to the fact that, you know, hey, she felt like I hurt her. So, you
Well,
know,
he does me the same
So
way.
what I'm
That's
trying to
the
understand
problem.
is, Ms. Graves, you believe this treatment, the way that he interacts with your daughter is based upon his doubt?
Yes. Our marriage is having problems. Just like he stated before, he doesn't know how to love. Well, that's a problem. Why did you marry me if you didn't know how to love? You should have got yourself together and then came to me.
So you blaming me, right?
Yes, my family is a package deal. You
So
knew
you
that,
blaming me?
if father or not. Though these are my children. When you came into my life, you came into their life. You know, you treat them as your children, your
See, that's the
stepchildren.
problem. We're constantly blaming. And we can get out of the vocal
So
of not
I
just
want to
blaming one person and
understand as
understanding
well.
there's two for
I
a
want to
marriage,
understand
not
as
one.
well. You two have been in a relationship for almost 22 years.
No.
No, ma'am.
We've been dealing with each other for 22 years.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I think that's what I meant, but
Yeah.
Yes.
thank you for the clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I appreciate that. But what I want to make clear is you were not married until later on.
Yes, ma'am.
How long ago did you get married?
4 years.
2011.
Okay, and you have always told him he's Vanisha's father.
Well, when she was 5,
I mean, I made
went to
mistakes,
him.
though.
I went to him to his mother's house, and I said, Michael, I seen some resemblance. So I went to him and I said, Michael, Mr. Baker, I think we need to do a paternity test.
But do looks
And
always count?
He
Do looks always
cursed me
count?
out and belittled me in front
Oh, my.
of many of people,
Oh, my.
and said he
Oh,
didn't
my.
even have sex with me around that time.
Oh, my. Because a memory is a thing that gets lost every once in a while. You understand? I mean, you were with other guys at the time. I was with other people. So
It didn't
you just
matter.
can't just say
You were a
basically-
possibility,
just
so you
basically
should have said
can't say
okay and
that
went
this
on
was
with
me.
it.
All
But
right,
Mr.
okay.
We wouldn't be
do you
here today.
Do you remember this instance when you were on and off? At some point, she came to you and said, I think Vanisha is your daughter. Do you remember that?
I don't remember as far as like, you know, just saying.
You don't remember
basically
cussing me out in front of your mom
in front of my mom?
and your sister and her
front of my
friends?
sister?
Yes,
No.
yes.
You don't remember that, sir?
I mean, I might have did it. I'm not gonna say I didn't.
He
I did
remember.
it, but I'm not gonna
See,
say I
that's the
remember,
problem.
Your Honor. Because for the simple fact is, if we've already been this way, why wouldn't you come to me and say, let's have a paternity test if it was like that? You understand? Instead
Do you
of just saying,
remember being
oh,
asked to have a paternity
no,
test?
I don't remember that. I don't
As it
remember.
relates
I
to
don't,
Vanisha?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
19
Yes.
years old, and a lot has happened since she was 5.
Yes.
You obviously continued to discuss paternity. Ms. Graves, you told him he was her father. Did you ever accept that
She never
fact?
told me I was her father.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
She's never said that I was her father.
Okay,
Never.
but what
Never told-
about when she was 10?
When she was 10.
And
okay.
we were together,
Okay.
and she was calling you
You
daddy.
told me that she was
and-
my father. I mean, I
No,
was her father.
you told me
You
that
told
she
me
looked like you.
Okay,
It was similarity.
I said that.
Okay.
I know I said
okay,
that.
then.
But I didn't say,
So he
did
been
you say
knowing
that I
it.
was her father? I mean, you know, when you see a child and you look at a child, you look at them and you be like, okay, well, it could be because of the possibility that we were having sex.
Okay, so the
You understand?
possibility should have let you know that it was time to stand up and step up and try to get a DNA long before now.
You're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, I make mistakes. I'm human. You understand? So, I mean, you got to realize that at the same time, I was hurt from the first time.
Mistake after mistake after mistake has led us here. I mean, we're separated right now. I went to my mom's house for 2 weeks just to clear my mind. I have terminal cancer. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't even know how to treat me with that. He's not compassionate. He cussed me out. You know, I'm doing chemo, and right before I do the chemo, we're arguing, and my blood pressure shot
So it's
through the
basically a
roof.
blame on me, though.
Yes.
Blame me, blame me, blame me.
Mr. Baker.
Where's your compassion?
Mr. Baker.
Yes.
I'm your
Mr.
wife.
Baker. You married this woman 4 years ago
Yes,
after
ma'am.
22 years of on and off involvement.
Yes, ma'am.
Now she's dealing with a very serious medical situation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Surely you understand
I do. I mean, I really
that
do.
arguing and getting her upset doesn't do anything for her health, for her care. You understand that,
Yes,
right?
I do.
And so this situation is very important, not just to her, but Vanisha.
But at the same time, when you have doubts because there are other people involved, you know, 1, 2, come on now, you know.
Well, that's what I want to hear, because when you talking thus far,
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, you getting on my last nerve.
I'm sorry.
Because you, no,
I'm sorry, Your
you're
Honor. I'm
not.
sorry.
It's like you're
I'm
not
sorry.
taking it seriously. It's too much
sorry.
smiling and acting like
mean,
what she's
I wasn't
saying
smiling as far as
doesn't
because it was-
matter.
it was-
no.
it was
Let me.
critical.
You're not gonna out-talk me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What I'm saying to you is your response to your wife, even if you disagreed, there was a level of disrespect woven in your body language and the way you responded.
Yes.
Even if you don't agree, I'm gonna give you your chance to say what your side of the story is. But now that you're talking, I see a level of sincerity that I need to see.
Yes.
Because there's a child here that needs to know who her father is.
Yes, Your Honor. And that's the reason
And
we're
when
here.
you start talking about your doubt, quite frankly, I do understand where at least a part of it comes from, because this has happened to you before with the same woman.
Yes.
Talk to me about your doubt. What are your doubts specifically as
Like
it
I
relates
say,
to her?
it's not just me, it's 2 other guys, you know. And the timing, yeah, you might say that we were here and there, but at the same time, the timing, it could match up and it could not match up.
The 2 other men, how did you find out about these
I mean,
2
she
other
told
men?
me about them. Miss Graves told me about
What
them.
did she tell you?
She said that it could be a possibility that 2 other guys that she's involved with could be the father of Miss Carroll. And I was like,
And
you
so,
know,
Ms. Graves, you did admit to him that there were 2 other potential fathers.
Yes, ma'am.
So as you tell him to step up and get the DNA test, did you ever test any of the other men?
No.
So why do you know for sure he's the father?
Back then, when it was a
Back then
Halloween.
when?
It was a Halloween party.
we say Halloween. How are you gonna just say Halloween and you were involved with other men? So you're gonna put
I know
Halloween
when it was.
specifically?
You don't know when the party
I'm just
was.
saying, but
I
you're
know.
All right,
Simply
Mr.
saying
Baker,
Halloween.
I want to hear her story. I want to understand her explanation. Go ahead, ma'am.
Halloween, we ended up hooking up, you know. So I was still dealing with him because he was my baby's father from the previous child. I have evidence here.
I'd like to
Your
see
Honor.
that evidence. What is that specifically, ma'am?
It's the conception date.
the window of conception.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you presented here, a conception calendar?
Yes, ma'am.
This is like one of these apps where you can calculate a conception date.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Talk me through this. Vanisha's birth date is what?
July 28th, 95.
So when you put in her birth date, July 28th, 1995, and you press calculate,
Yes, ma'am.
it gave you dates of conception of October 31st through November 8th, 1994, meaning that was during the time of Halloween.
Yes, ma'am.
Where you were intimate with Mr. Baker.
I was honest. I didn't just tell him. I told the other guys too. I've always been honest about it.
Were you
Don't make it better,
intimate
but
with the other men during this window,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
8 days?
Yes, ma'am.
So why is it that you feel Mr. Baker is more likely her biological father if you were intimate with the other men during the same window?
Well, Your Honor, like I said, it was because of the conception and then the resemblance. You know, when she was 10 years old, we got back into a relationship. At that time, he started seeing things. Look at her eyes, look at her nose, look at her, you know, it was always her walk, the way she walked and all of that. It was always
But at the
something.
same time,
Lanky, she
people-
lanky, tall and
people say that all the
lanky.
time.
Just like me.
People say
She
that all the
lied
time.
just like my mama.
They
It's
say that
just
all the
always
time,
something.
as far as,
He's
like,
always
looks and
throwing it
stuff.
up like he knows she is, but then he don't put it together
It's because
and act
like
on
you
it.
say, at
DNA
the same
tells it
time,
all, so that's why
when
we're
you
here.
have this in your mind as far as like, what if she's not yours? You finna go through it again. Are you ready for it?
So
You know-
ultimately, your marriage is on the line because of this.
Being, you know, feeling
It's-
like the other
it's
one is
from
right
the
or
past.
wrong. You know, things
Whether
that
you
happen
want to,
in the past.
however you want to look at it, it's from the past. Me hurting him hurting me, or whatever. But it's time to get past that. You know,
Exactly.
I'm trying to do this
Exactly.
for her.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about him. It's not about me. You know, I want to make sure before I leave this world that she knows I don't want her to be punished for something that I did in the past. That's my past. I'm trying to get it right for her now. You know, and
So then
and
why-
if our marriage can be fixed, you know, if he can stop thinking about the past and move forward where I can be happy before I leave this world. She has to watch me suffer, you know? And then when it comes to my kid, you can mess with me, but when you come to my kid, that's my child.
I mean, I love her, just like I love you.
You don't know how to love, remember?
Exactly.
I wish you all would have had this much conversation.
And that's our
I
problem.
tried.
We got a big problem with communicating.
You've got a young girl here, and Mom, you're worried about her future.
Yes, ma'am.
You are dealing with something very serious. You want to know that your daughter is going to be okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think I want to hear from Venetia. Venetia, please stand up. Venetia, I have to ask you, and you take your time, baby. I know this is very difficult. Do you believe in your heart Mr. Baker is your biological father?
I don't really know how to answer that because it's very confusing.
I understand.
Hearing that I look like his family, hearing that I look like someone else's family, it just, I don't know. I just want to know.
You're hearing it all the time, that you look like his family. Then somebody else said you look like somebody else's family. Venetia, how is your relationship with Mr. Baker? What is it like?
Well, Your Honor, we have a love-hate relationship. 1 minute he's mean, 1 minute he loves me. We're not always on the same page. Most of the time we're bumping heads and arguing.
I don't know how long I have left here, but I want her to be okay when I'm gone. You know, that's why I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to do what I have to do. You know, so I know that she's okay, that she can get the love, you know, from another parent when I'm gone.
And that's why this is so important.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the only way we can move forward is to just get the results. Are we ready? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Graves, Carroll versus Baker, when it comes to 19-year-old Vanisha Carroll, it has been determined by this court Mr. Baker, you are not her father.
You're my daughter no matter what, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
I would say a few words that I hope would help a family that's in your position and any family that comes into this courtroom. Help them move forward, because that's what this is about. But I could not have said it better than what you just said to your family. That was love. That's your baby girl. Nothing can erase the love you all have for one another. And Mom, Ms. Graves, I know you are dealing with something right now that is so difficult. And I hope that this truth, this moment in time where you're able to get answers for your daughter, will help give you the strength you need to keep fighting.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a wonderful family that's there to support you. And keep doing what it takes to help your daughter get her village. But stick together in this fight. All of you together.
Thank you.
All right? Good luck to all of you. We have resources for you, and I want you to take advantage of them. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Court is adjourned.